Hi panning family, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm going to be talking about my Pan That Palette challenge on my Urban Decay Naked palette. This is going to be my third update. I have been working on this palette since the beginning of December. So technically I've been working on it for 4 months, where most people I think at this point have been working on it for about 3 months. But there has been a lot of progress since my last update. If you didn't see that, I was a little bit discouraged about how slowly I was moving through this palette because of my job. I can't always wear makeup, etc, etc. So I was just thinking it's gonna take me forever to hit pan on all of these shades, and here I am. It seems like almost the halfway point, but no, we're actually at the 33% point, shall we say. Anyway, but there have been lots of changes in my palette, so I will insert where I was last month right here. Okay, so lots of changes. Let's see where I am now with my Naked palette. Da 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 da! I hit pan in an additional 1, 2, 3, 4 shades. It was like, oh my gosh, you guys. I hit pan in those shades like within 2 weeks of each other. It was like boom, 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 pan, 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 and I was just like, oh my gosh, how'd that happen? I don't know. But as you can see, I've actually hit quite a bit of pan on Sidecar, and that was the first one to hit pan after my original Toasted and Half Baked. And then Naked was next, and then Hustle was after that, and then finally Smog. You can see a little bit of that. Now I'm gonna turn the camera around just so you can see the dips in the rest of the palette. Okay, so I discovered that when I turned my camera around, I use my phone to film. And so when I use the camera on the back of the phone instead of the front of the phone, I think it's better quality. So you really can appreciate those dips in there a lot better than if I were just to show it, you know, just in front of my face. So see, not too much progress in Gunmetal or Creep or Dark Horse, but you can see those dips in Hustle. Buck, starting to get one in Sin there, and one in Virgin right there. So this month I feel like I cheated just a little bit with Hustle. Now, the reason why that I even hit pan in this shade was because I was playing around with the palette, and I remember when I was watching Amber F pan this palette, she was saying, oh, you know, if Hustle is just too dark for you, or it, you know, you want the purple to show up, put a shade like Naked underneath it and then layer Hustle on top of it, and the purple will really show through. Well, for me that didn't work, and that might be because these shades are old and maybe they just don't layer well, but I put Naked down as a base, and then what I tried to do was put Hustle in the outer corner and then in the inner corner and create a halo look. But I mean, I kept digging my brush into the shadow and tried to layer it, and I swear that Naked shade just wouldn't allow Hustle to grip to it. So I was just digging in there, and I mean, I got so much pan, but really that was basically just one look that I was trying to create, and it just didn't work out. So, oh well, that's okay. I got my pan, so I'm excited about that. Now, I was thinking a little bit more about how I'm going to proceed through spring and summer. The months are warming up, and I'm thinking I'm probably not going to want to use these darker colors here. What I may do is focus on Gunmetal. I mean, there's hardly any dip in that at all, and I've been using it quite a bit. I think in the spring I can still pull it off. Maybe if I use Sin in the inner corner and Gunmetal to kind of darken up the outer corner, it might be kind of like a spring smoky eye because the colors aren't as dark, and maybe I can get a dip in Gunmetal going that way. And then as we move into summer, what I might do is focus on Half Baked, Smog, and Dark Horse and kind of use those more bronzy tones. I'm thinking that's where I'm gonna go with this palette. I know last time I was saying, you know, I'm not really into goals, like I'm gonna hit the corner on this shade and all this stuff, but because I have pan in half the palette right now, I'm thinking I'm going to have to set those goals for myself. Otherwise, I'm just gonna continue to use the same shades that I just really enjoy. For the next month or two, I'm gonna really try hard to get a dip, at least a dip going in Gunmetal, and maybe even a bigger dip in Virgin as well, because even though I do use it, I don't really use it that much. I mean, I just use it to highlight my brow bone and the inner corner. And that's kind of it. And I will be using Buck a lot more. I don't even have a dip going in there because I was using my Mary Kay shadow in Hazelnut. And big news, empty pan. I finished it, you guys, and I actually finished it, I want to say, maybe 5 days prior to the year mark that I started panning this. So this took me an entire year to complete, almost, not using makeup every day. But now that this is gone, I'm going to focus on Buck as my matte shade, especially since I already have quite a sizable pan in Naked. I mean, I will probably still continue to use Naked. Because I've expanded the pan so far, I'm just kind of curious to see how much further I can get. In Sin, I probably won't be using too much just yet because the shade that I am panning right now, my Estee Lauder Blushing Goddess, I'm almost done with this. Still a couple more months to go, but it's a dupe for Sin. So it's like I'm kind of chomping at the bit, to start with Sin, but it's like, no, I need to use this because I promised myself last year that I would use this up. I also wanted to mention that even though I haven't been focusing on my Naked Basics palette as something that I'm going to be panning, I actually am getting a nice dip in Walk of Shame. Maybe you guys can see it. Yeah, I think you can. Just because I've been using that shade quite a bit as a highlight color on my brow bone. So that is where I am with my Pan That Palette challenge. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.